Set your heart ablaze. Hey, what's up guys, Punchy here, and this video will be a little bit different than my regular builds, and you'll see what I mean later on in the video. Of course, spoilers for the Demon Slayer anime up to the current season, and for those not caught up, I highly advise you to watch Demon Slayer because it's pure hype with insane animation. That's all. Anyway, this time I chose to create a build based on a very flamboyant character from Demon Slayer, and no, we're not talking about Tengen. Kajiura Rengoku, the Flame Hashira, or should I say former Flame Hashira, is who I chose to recreate in my favorite game, Deepwoken. As many of you know, I make builds based on characters from all sorts of anime, and as soon as I saw the new railway map, I knew Mugen Train was something I could do. Rengoku's character embodies the spirit of intensity so much that his legacy was burned into my memory. His mere presence drives cowardly demon scum into the depths, while it serves as a beacon of hope for our protagonist group. Rengoku's personality and fighting spirit alone are comparable to none as he sets the competition ablaze. Forget that idea about demon slayers being human. Rengoku is a damn force of nature. With the speed to outrun a train, the Flame Hashira is a supersonic stylish sword master. Rengoku's arsenal of sword techniques consists of a multitude of flame-breathing forms, and he uses them effectively. This unique style specializes in singular powerful strikes that seem to melt through enemies like butter. All I'm gonna say, if you're a demon, don't let him cook or you will be cooked. Straight up, you cannot play with that boy. And speaking of cooking, the only thing Rengoku eats are the famous Mugen Train bento boxes. So let's see what he has to say. Do you guys hear that? I think he said, well, let's hear it again, He said subscribe, so make sure to like and subscribe before I burn Etris to the ground. In Deepwoken, I recreated Rengoku as a yellow-haired Tyran. It's tough to replicate his colorful hair in-game, but I found a fantastic option that's close enough. Moving on to his drip. Rengoku requires his black and white kimono to stay true to the Demon Slayer uniform. The Summer Company and Summer Dragoon set are the best picks in my opinion. Now, what sets Rengoku apart from the other Hashira is of course his flame-inspired outfit. Everything has a theme, from his fire-colored hair, his red and gold cloak, and even down to his shoes. My man got the lemon pepper stepas. In-game, we dripped out our boy with a Providence cloak, fleet warding coat, and Winter Corpse boots. It isn't spot on, but I dyed each accessory the best I could. My weapon of choice was the legendary rail blade, but I know some might argue that a shadow katana fits better. The slow and powerful slashes from the rail blade resemble that of the flame-breathing style. I mean, look at the crit, it just works perfectly. If you say otherwise, you probably have not used a rail blade yet. The final stats for this Rengoku are a little bit weird. Before completing this build, I put 100 points into willpower and fortitude to obtain brick wall. We absolutely need this talent, and it was worth sacrificing points for heavy weapon. Luckily, I was able to account for this stat difference with 6 proficiency. It's definitely a unique Shrine of Order build, but it's so much fun and pretty damn viable. Just so you know, make this build however you like, but life is a series of decisions. You never have unlimited options or unlimited time to think, but what you choose in that instant defines who you are. And choose we did. Based on Rengoku's ideology, I pulled through and decided on the mantra that fit him the best. The flame breathing technique is a sword fighting style that embodies the heat and intensity of a burning inferno. Its versatility and effectiveness are reflected in its multiple forms. Let's start with his first form, Unknowing Fire. Right off the bat, we are introduced to Rengoku's insane speed as he rushes forward and decapitates a demon in seconds. His horizontal slash is unrivaled. The grounded railblade critical truly made me feel like the Flame Hashira as we lunge forward and sweep anybody off their feet. You can really feel the weight behind this attack, and that alone makes it a powerful threat. I use this move consistently to catch enemies off guard and punish them for attacking blindly. The next is flame-breathing second form, Rising Scorching Sun. Rengoku's second form is a simple yet effective circular slash. It's his only anti-air attack, and it's used to shut down flying foes. This time, we'll be using the airborne railblade crit. Instead of hitting our enemy into the air, we'll meet them halfway and strike from above. It's not a perfect representation, but its devastating slam is best used to finish off a flashy combo. The opposite of this technique is Rengoku's third form, Blazing Universe. Instead of an upward slash, the Flame Hashira strikes downward, separating anything in his path. A similar motion can be found within Flame Charm's Fire Blade, a guard-breaking blazing finish. It's used best on blocking players and to start longer combos. Don't worry, because the flames continue to grow with Rengoku's fourth form, Blooming Flame Undulation, a devastating flurry of attacks used to defend Rengoku from any strike thrown his way. The Flame Hashira produces several fiery slashes in order to deflect other techniques. To fit in with Blooming Flame's massive area of effect, I picked up and modified Rising Flame to the same size. Instead of reflecting enemy attacks, we throw them into the air and initiate explosive combos. Moving on to Rengoku's blitz attack, fifth form, Flame Tiger. Kyojuro crouches down and launches himself towards the enemy in a series of slashes that seemingly form a tiger made of fire. Inspired by his rapid approach, I picked up Shoulder Bash to get in and combo extend. Since we're always on fire, it fits in with the other Flame Charm forms. The final flame breathing form, Rengoku. Rengoku's final one-shot attack, the Rengoku Purgatory. This self-named attack perfectly describes his instantaneous and intense ideology. In a second, Rengoku flies towards upper Moon 3, striking through his body with enough impact to seemingly cause a firestorm. Purgatory is essential to his character, and it would be a crime if I didn't modify Flame Assault massively to replicate his famous attack. This mantra is inescapable. Combo extend and snipe enemy players with this mantra's insane hitbox. But Rengoku is much more than just flame-breathing forms. The Flame Hashira is a symbol of hope and perseverance. Set your heart ablaze. Those words gave our characters the strength to fight on in the face of death. Similarly, Reinforce buffs both our allies and ourselves with the strength to continue in the fight. It's never a bad option and lets us heal. This can also be done with the Flame talent Flame Within, which literally sets us ablaze. Total Concentration is responsible for enhancing Rengoku's strength to its utmost limits. Using 100% of his power, Rengoku's breathing surges through his body, modifying his techniques to a level much higher than ever before. Just like this, Undying Flame resembles the effect of Total Concentration breathing, giving our build that extra protection and second wind during battle. I originally thought this mantra sucked, but it always came in handy during those ultra close fights. Rengoku is a force to be reckoned with. As he activates his final Purgatory technique, his fighting spirit makes even the strongest shiver in fear. Glare's stunning effect is spot on and helps our enemies stop in their tracks. It's one of the strongest moves to run on a heavy build because it makes your moves basically unpunishable. And the final Kajiura Rengoku ability that I had to pick was his Burning Grasp. During the first part of Mugen Train, the Flame Hashira's willpower is tested as he counters and chokes out an enemy during this dreamlike state. There is no trolling Rengoku. Flame Grab, being the obvious choice, is great for healing up and slamming players into the ground. It's one of the many moves I use to apply pressure and catch up with running players. Finally, that finishes up the Flame Breathing Hashira's forms, but there's a few more talents that perfect Kajiura Rengoku. Throughout the series, breathing forms are beautiful to witness, flowing in and out of battle like a dance-like sequence. Specifically for flame breathing, Tanjiro believes it's linked to his sun breathing dance. Of course, to represent this flowing dance, we must be using dancing and graceful steps. When throwing out a flame mantra, you get a substantial speed boost and lunge in the direction you're facing. It's fantastic on this build because it gives us insane pressure. Most importantly, my entire stat spread was based around the essential talent Brick Wall. You need this talent for Rengoku because he never gave up until his eventual demise. His insane willpower and fortitude are showcased perfectly as he held off Akaza and honestly nearly killed him with a hole through his stomach. Standing tall and resisting knockback, Brick Wall and Rengoku is the ultimate example of his dedication to the Demon Slayer corpse. That's all for Rengoku. Now, check out some fights with our favorite Flame Hashira, Rengoku Q. Hold on, I'm getting some interference. You thought this was only going to be a Rengoku build? Well, I got the perfect demon to put this mutt in the ground. You thought I was gassing up the Flame Hashira, but hell no, it's a competition. So we have two builds, one Hashira and one Upper Moon. Let's introduce the demonic antagonist of the Mugen Train arc, Akaza. Upper Moon 3, the undying brawler who delivered the Flame Hashira to his grave. Akaza has no regard for any human life or even his own safety. His chaotic, violent nature makes him an unpredictable monster for the Slayers to defeat. Although Akaza is one of Muzan's pawns, his ability and bloodlust overpowered the majority of the Slayer Corps and the Hashira who have fought him so far. A true martial artist by heart, he always pursued strong opponents to test himself in battle. Akaza views Rengoku as a worthy opponent and demonstrates his killer instinct through the use of his unique Blood Demon art. As a master of the Soryu fighting style, Akaza was reborn as a demon and maintained his aptitude for combat. His demonic transformation awakened something inside of him as he pushed further beyond the capabilities of humanity. Akaza channeled all of his martial arts experience into a technique that grants him supernatural perception of all motions and attacks. This technique became known as the Compass Needle Demon Art, and it complements Akaza's carefree battle tendency. His insane speed, unmatched perception, and near immortal regeneration made him an impossible opponent for the Mugen Train team. Akaza has no time for weaklings and will crush them in an instant. I remade Akaza as a red-haired Kanor to represent his appearance in the anime. It's very difficult to recreate this demon's unique blue-faced markings, but I think it's as close as we can get. Akaza's drip in the show is quite simplistic but hard to replicate in Deepwoken. He basically only wears shorts and a vest, and to match our red theme, I dyed a Deepwoken cloak and equipped our demon with a Wandering Swordsman outfit. Just like Akaza, we wander the land in search of worthy opponents. Akaza's weapon of choice just had to be the bloodthirsty Flamekeeper Cestus to embody his bloodthirsty demand for combat. No matter who you are, Akaza's true passion is dismantling the weak so he can become the strongest. In-game, its function is very accurate to Akaza's reckless fighting style. At the end of the day, he's not worried about taking some damage if it results in his victory. Bloodthirsty just makes sense. That being said, let's take a a look at this demonic build. Akaza's build was another Shrine of Order masterpiece where I focused my stats on Frost Straw, Heavy, and Agility. Before I equalized my stats, I believe I wanted a minimum of 1 Strength, 1 Charisma, 1 Fortitude, 65 Agility, 35 Heavy, 1 Light, and 50 Frost Straw. Again, do whatever you like, just get the correct abilities. And trust me when I say this, Akaza has a ton of creative abilities that he uses against Rengoku. The first of which is Disorder. Akaza throws hands, punching rapidly at his target, creating a giant shockwave able to disrupt and destroy anything in his path. This ability has a pretty decent range, it even clashed with Rengoku's Flame Tiger technique. Rapid Punches has the same exact motion that Akaza does, and it serves the same purpose. Clash with approaching players and confuse them to continue your combo. Disorder was a combination of air splitting attacks, but by themselves, these shockwaves are classified as air type attacks. Akaza literally snipes Rengoku from afar by punching the air. If that isn't broken, I don't know what is. Here's when our heavy training comes into play. Pressure Blast is acting as our air type attack, and it's perfect for pushing the enemy away. It's extremely useful for starting combos and ragdolling players so we can hit them on the ground. Akaza punches so hard that he disrupts the air in front of him. Just like the others, Akaza hits the air with Collapse, slamming everybody around him into the ground. This shockwave attack was recreated with Strong Left. Its appearance is very similar to the Collapse attack, and it's optimal for pushing players away and hitting them hard. When this lands, get people off of you and deal some serious damage. So far, we've been talking about Akaza and his deadly hands, but don't forget about his equally as lethal kicks. With an explosive flurry, Akaza kicks at the speed of light, creating after images and powerful shockwaves with his legs. It's very disorienting. Not only is the color scheme similar to Akaza's colorful attacks, but it even has the same effect. Overwhelm your enemy and catch them lacking with his vibrant death attack. We're not even done yet. Let's move on to Akaza's strongest move, Meshiki, Annihilation type. Akaza lunges forward, making 2 giant shockwaves with unbelievable piercing force. This move went through and negated Rengoku's Purgatory attack. It's kind of crazy. Annihilation type was recreated with Dawnwalker's Radiant Kick. It's a carbon copy of this move, and its instant teleportation is very similar to Akaza's insane striking speed. Combo off of this or use it to approach. The final combat technique that Akaza uses to get the drop on his enemies is Crown Splitter. Akaza flies into the air and stomps down on his opponents in order to pummel them on the ground. Another perfect choice for this ability is Tasset Dropkick. We plummet out of the sky and land on our opponent, slamming them into the floor. You can honestly throw this out randomly or profit off a well-placed ragdoll. Now Akaza can only really whoop his opponents due to his Blood Demon art, the Compass Needle. He stomps on the ground in front of him and summons a snowflake-like symbol that gives him godlike perception. He's able to monitor and observe enemy fighting spirits and move around them as if they were frozen in place. Iceberg is the optimal choice for our Compass Needle. I modified its size to be giant, and its main purpose is to slow down and confuse the enemy. We become invincible and we get to see what they do. We observe them. Without a doubt, Akaza's fighting ability, paired with his speed and regeneration, is a force to be reckoned with. Jumping around with dash and healing with Conditioned Runner is great for our demonic playstyle. That's about all for this Hashira killing brawler. Check out the full talent list. So it's the first time I'm doing this, but I'll be alternating between both Rengoku and Akaza fights, so please tell me down below which build is better and which side you're on. Team Upper Moon or Team Demon Slayer? Enjoy. thank you all for watching. I hope you can tell how much effort I put into this video and how much fun it was to make. I really love this. I haven't done this before, so let me know which duel I should do next. I really enjoy making characters and it's exciting to me to have them face off. So as always, like and subscribe and please have a good one.